This is the greatest super team you've never heard of. Let me just read you the combined accolades of this team. 5 Hall of Famers, 4 MVPs, 4 Finals MVPs, 18 All-NBA selections, 21 All-Defensive selections, 38 All-Star selections, 38, and then 3 Six-Man of the Years. This is the 1986 Celtics, and they're arguably one of the greatest teams in NBA history. They went 67-15 and easily won the NBA championship. And the level of talent in the starting 5 of this team is just insane. Larry Bird was at the height of his power, winning his 3rd MVP in a row and winning Finals MVP this season. He was the best player in the league by a wide margin, and really built on the catalyst that Marquise Johnson started with playmaking wings. I mean, he's a top 10 player of all time, that's all we have to say. Stepping up as his Robin, Kevin McHale really flourished. Coming off winning back-to-back Six-Man of the Year, Kevin put up over 20 a night. This man was an absolute menace in the paint. There's a reason why his nickname was the torture chamber, because once he got in that post, he was either scoring, or on the other end, he was blocking you. A 6-time all-defensive selection with a alleged 8-foot wingspan, the second longest in NBA history behind Manute Bol. In the next year, when Larry Bird went down with an injury for the entire season, Kevin McHale led the team and was All-NBA first team. Robert Parish was the model of consistency at the center position. He was an 18-10 guy throughout his career, and he played like 24 seasons, which coincided with 4 rings and 9 All-Star selections. He was the perfect third option that would supply help-side defense and great rebounding along with Kevin and Larry. And it truly is an underrated player that if he was on his own team would have probably been a 24-12 guy. Imagine your 4th option being a Finals MVP that was a 5-time All-Star, 2-time All-NBA, and 9-time All-Defensive selection. Yeah, that was Dennis Johnson, the starting point guard. And in 1979, he led the Seattle Supersonics to their first ever ring. This man was a Swiss Army knife. He could rebound, he could assist, he could shot block at 6'4". In fact, he retired as the NBA's all-time leading shot blocker from the guard position. He really served as the veteran leader on the team that allowed them to hold steady throughout the playoffs and win 67 games. The starting shooting guard was Danny Ainge. Still young and up and coming, but he would eventually be an all-star just 2 seasons later. And not a lot of people know this, but Danny Ainge is maybe the greatest athlete to ever play in the NBA. He was also a former professional baseball player and holds the distinct honor of being the only person ever to be an All-American in 3 different sports, all at the same time: football, baseball, and basketball. The man is a real-life movie character, and also was a heck of a basketball player too, and GM. And their 6th man was some guy named Bill Walton, greatest college basketball player of all time, 4-time NCAA champion, Finals MVP, regular season MVP. Injuries did derail his career when he was with the Trailblazers, but nobody could deny that he was some of the greatest talent that ever came into the league. His career was revitalized when he played for Boston, coming off the bench as the 6th man of the year. He gave Boston critical minutes throughout the playoffs and was able to guard guys like Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. And finally, when your 7th option is a 2-time All-Star, All-Defensive selection, you know your team's pretty good. Scott Woodman played for Kansas City alongside Nate Archibald for much of the 70s and was a 19-point-per-game scorer along with being a lockdown defender. It's crazy to think that this man was just coming off the bench, getting critical buckets and playing defense when the stars had to sit. It's such a luxury to have this on a team, especially one this deep. Arguably the deepest in NBA history.